overwhelm and the feeling that maybe you are not fully present with your child or children, but you're also just so frustrated because you don't know who you are anymore. Yeah, that was me the last few months, definitely with the present thing, being present with your kids. More recently, it's been that I don't exactly know who I am. And I'll get into that in a little bit for exactly what I mean by that. But yeah, so I'm Ellie. Hi, I'm a mom of two and under. And today we're going to be talking about ways that we can streamline our lives and maybe reset a little bit to be more present with our kids, and maybe also find time to figure out exactly who we are outside of being a mom. Especially if you're a stay-at-home mom like me, sometimes it can feel like being a mom is everything, which it is, but sometimes you need a little bit of something else, and that's totally okay. In fact, it's completely normal. When I figured out a couple months ago that I just felt like something was wrong, I needed to do something with my life to make it so that I could be a better parent and so that I could be a better wife and a better person in general, like a better me. The very first thing I did was I decluttered my closet, and that was crazy with how much it really helped just seeing all of those clothes come out of my closet. I'd had 2 kids, my body shape had changed, and plus I think I had, is it called diastasis recti? I probably mispronounced it. It will be right here for those of you who know what the heck I'm talking about. It's basically the ab separation that happens when you are pregnant, and it takes some time to heal, especially if you don't do it right. It can make you constantly look pregnant. And that's kind of how I felt when I was decluttering my clothes. There was no reason to keep clothes that no longer fit me or that I had when I was in like 8th grade and they were like trendy, like the layered tanks. Like I had a bunch of tank tops that I would layer with stuff. Those are gone now. The second thing I did was more recently, the clothes I did like mid to end of August, and then this started, the rest of these things kind of fell into place at the beginning to mid of October. October 8th, I remember specifically because it was a Monday. My husband and I decided that we were not going to use our screens for things that were like entertainment based, so no streaming, videos, games. We both were having issues with most of those things. No Facebook either, Instagram, no social media, and no like real entertainment. I had made an exception for books because I felt like it was a more productive use of my screen time and a more productive use of my time, especially because I really loved to read when I was in like middle school and high school. After becoming an adult, I haven't done it as much, and I don't know if I'm out of practice or what happened, but something happened when I was trying to cut my screen time, and that was that I realized I didn't enjoy doing some of the things I used to like to do, which is part of where I kind of lost who I was came from. My husband did really well with the screen time thing. I didn't, because I did not like how I felt because I didn't enjoy the things that I used to. So I fell back into some of my old habits. I generally did better with my screen time. It wasn't constant 24/7 on my screen watching videos, like YouTube videos in the background or whatever. I did choose to do other things more often, but yeah, I definitely felt very odd during that week that we had chosen to kind of detox from all of it, and then we were going to revisit and reintegrate things as we saw fit. Something else that I did during that screen time thing, and that would be meal planning. Ironically, meal planning makes it so that I know what I'm doing every night at dinner time. One thing I also realized was that my husband also knew what was supposed to be for dinner. So, and that he was paying attention to the meal plan that I had posted on the fridge. I actually had written it on the fridge. He knew how to do it, so he was going to do it. But it was scheduled on a day where he was at work, and so I was just not sure if he was going to be able to do it. And I had actually switched it while he was at work, and he came home early to make it anyway. And I was like, okay, that works great. We can do exactly what we had planned, and I am grateful for it. And as the kids get older, they'll know what will be for dinner every night and things like that. I think meal planning is a huge mental load off of, well, everyone really, because my husband knew that there would be food when he came home. I knew how early I needed to take myself away from my kids to make dinner because I knew exactly what I was going to make, so I knew exactly how long it was going to take. Final thing that I will mention in this video before I kind of go into what I plan to do in the future to continue on this trajectory. The final thing I'll mention is cleaning, actually. But it's more of how I clean. Instead of doing cleaning marathons or whatever once a week, when I notice something needs to be done, I do it then. That could be crumbs, that could be sticky spots on the floor, that could be dishes in the sink, that could be taking out the trash, changing the diaper pail. All of those things messy together, it's very overwhelming and overstimulating, especially the crumbs on your feet. Oh my gosh, it is the worst thing ever, and it drives me absolutely nuts, and it makes me a horrible parent. Like, I parent badly when I have crumbs on my floor, and so I need to make sure I don't is basically what it comes down to. And something I needed to convince myself was that it was okay to take out the vacuum while the kids were awake or while they were asleep, just whenever I was noticing it. Both my kids would like kind of chase the vacuum around, and they just had a blast while I was vacuuming and trying to make sure that my feet were not overstimulated so that I could parent them better. But yeah, I just realized it's just so much easier to do what needs to be done in the moment instead of waiting for some magical time where everything will just be done. Because that doesn't happen. You have to do it. Oh, same thing with laundry. Like, if I notice laundry needs to be done, I just go and do it instead of waiting for a certain time of day. In fact, my kids kind of love helping with the laundry, especially switching it from the washer to the dryer. They like pushing it, the clothes or towels or whatever sheets are going in the dryer. They like pushing them in the dryer. Of those, I think there were 4 things. Of those 4 things, why don't you leave a comment down below of which one you found most helpful or which one you are planning to use first. They were all extremely helpful to me. I feel much more in control now that I have started these things. That's part of why in the title it says that I finally started to get my life back. It's because I am nowhere near being done. So now we'll move on to some of the next steps for me, and that would be decluttering my kids' toys, because oh my gosh, sometimes all they like to do is just dump the buckets out and just leave them there, and it drives me kind of crazy, especially because when I go to try to clean up, if they're still awake, they immediately pull stuff out. And then usually if I clean at night, by the next morning, everything's pulled out again anyway, before I even get up, because my 2-year-old will get up before I do sometimes. That's the kind of frustrating part. And so having fewer toys will help me feel less overstimulated. And it's also, studies have shown that it helps kids to be more entertained with their toys. If there are actually fewer toys, it increases their imagination and it increases their attention span. All of these things are good things for children, especially when you're trying to prepare them to go into school, whatever kind of school you're trying to put your kids in. The other thing that I plan on doing next is I still need to work on my screen time. The vast majority of my time is still used with a screen, like a video or movie or show or something playing in the background, and we don't even have a TV. So this is like ridiculous. It's all on my phone, and it's such a bad example for my kids. It's obvious when my 2-year-old's like, I want to watch a show as soon as she wakes up, and she begs me for it all day until she gets her screen time, and then she begs for more screen time. I have a few ideas for it. I had seen a video recently of someone who had like different hobbies in a jar, and every day she would pull a different hobby to work on and do while she was replacing it with her screen time, like replacing her screen time with the new hobby. That could be a great way for me and you to find yourself again, especially if you're noticing you don't like to do the same things you used to. similar to how I did. All right, so that's pretty much all I've got for you today. If you liked this video, make sure you subscribe. I have some other videos like it, and I plan to make lots more. Specifically, you would like this video, which is all about sippy cups and the ones that have worked for our family. I will see you there.